The Donkey of Gallipoli, A True Story of Courage in World War I by Mark Greenwood. Jack and Billy grew up in the back alleys of South Shields, England, where a river carried great ships out to sea. During summer vacation, they led donkeys along the beach for a penny a ride. From morning till twilight, they paced the seaside trail, whistling tunes for passengers balanced on the donkeys' backs. In the winter, Jack delivered milk to support his family. With the ring of his bell, he worked the cobbled streets, taking payment with his frozen fingers. In the harbor, freighters and tugs sounded off with toots and whistles. Jack dreamed that one day he would sail away on a great adventure. "There's no need to worry," he told Billy. "I won't forget you." At 17, Jack signed up as a stoker on a ship bound for Australia. He beat his way through the bush. He cut cane and rode the boundary of a cattle station. He labored in the coal mines, then joined the gold rush. But Jack never dug a fortune from the ground. Instead, he returned to sea. Down in the bowels of a steamship, Jack fed the furnace. "I wish I were home," he thought. "Every bird likes its own nest." Jack was enjoying a spell ashore in Australia when he heard the news that England and Germany were at war. He was quick to enlist in the army. It offered a chance to do his duty for his king and country, plus a ticket home quicker than planned. Jack trained as a stretcher bearer, but the troops sailed for Egypt, not England as he'd hoped. In the shadow of the ancient pyramids, soldiers practiced for battle. Jack marched through the desert and treated mock wounded at an aid station pitched among the palms. When Turkey entered the war, British commanders drew up plans to launch an invasion on the Gallipoli Peninsula. "You'll find out where I am when the Australians make a start," Jack wrote to his mother. On a moonless April morning, a fleet of destroyers steamed toward the Turkish coast. Steel hulls formed a line facing the landing point. Jack climbed down a rope ladder into a crowded rowboat. Pale-faced soldiers prayed silently as the convoy approached the rugged, clay-faced cliffs. Enemy gunfire sparked from the scrub-covered ridges. Jack's heart pounded. "I wish I were home in good old Shields," he whispered. At dawn, the boats grounded on a pebbled seabed. Turkish machine guns snickered, whipping up spouts of water. Jack felt the zip of a bullet pass by his head. He tumbled into the icy Aegean Sea and waded to shelter beneath an overhang. Soldiers stormed the beach under orders to secure higher ground. They fixed bayonets and charged up the razor-backed ridges. Enemy artillery exploded overhead, showering the cove with fiery shrapnel. Exposed to bullets and bombs, Jack edged along narrow tracks to evacuate a constant stream of wounded to lifeboats that lined the shore. The first aid station at Hellspit was unprepared for the mounting casualties. Stretchers soon became a scarce commodity. Jack was responding to a cry for help when he came upon a donkey cowering in a gully of pines. A shell burst high above, spitting out a hail of metal. Jack ignored the concussion of artillery and crawled across the shell-torn ground. "Bless you, little fella," he whispered into a long, fluffy ear, and he christened his frightened friend Duffy. Within the reach of a dozen enemy rifles, a soldier raised his bloodied arm. Jack leaped over craters gouged into the battlefield, dodging shot and shell. "It doesn't do to linger in nasty spots like this," he said. Jack gently lifted his patient onto the donkey's back. He guided Duffy with a lead rope fashioned from field dressings and picked his way down the stony ravine. That was the first of many brave rescues. In sunshine or drizzling rain, Jack Simpson marched up Shrapnel Valley with Duffy by his side. They made 12 to 15 trips each day, carrying water to thirsty troops and returning with a soldier straddled over the donkey's back. At night, Jack guided Duffy by lantern light down the zigzag track and camped with an Indian artillery unit. The Sikh gunners named him Bahadur, meaning the bravest of the brave. Simpson and his donkey earned the admiration of all who watched them work. The colonel decorated Duffy's forehead with a Red Cross armband. "You're worth 100 men to me," he said. On the morning of May 19th, Turkish forces launched a fierce assault. It seemed a miracle that anyone could survive when the air was hazy with lead. "Snipers are busy in the gully ahead," warned a soldier. "It's hot as blazes up there." "I'll be all right," said Jack with a wave. "Have breakfast ready when I get back." With the sun rising behind him, a Turkish soldier took aim and slowly squeezed the trigger. His target was leading a donkey up a steep incline at the junction of Dead Man's Ridge. The bullet struck Jack in the back and passed through his heart. Fellow soldiers dragged their friend to the side of the track, and word passed down the line. Battle-weary men were misty-eyed when Duffy trudged down the valley alone. Indian gunners risked their lives to gather a wreath of poppies to decorate a wooden cross. A hush descended over the battlefield. In the maze of terraced dugouts, candles flickered like evening stars on the night Jack Simpson was buried at Hell's Spit. Jack rescued more than 300 men during 24 days. Among them was an English soldier who grew up in the back alleys of South Shields. "There's no need to worry," Jack had called out over the stutter of gunfire. "I won't forget you." Jack supported the wounded man to prevent him from slipping off the donkey. With Duffy trotting by his side, Jack smiled, whistled a tune, and led Billy through the valley of death. Lest we forget.